Hello, gents. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's going to ruffle some feathers. We're talking about why trying to hurt a Sigma male will backfire on you. And trust me, these aren't your run-of-the-mill reasons. We're talking about the kind of dude who just doesn't give a F. He's comfortable in his own skin, he knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to go after it. So if you're thinking about messing with a Sigma male, you better think twice, because chances are it's just going to blow up in your face. They're like those indestructible cockroaches, man. You try to squash them, they just keep coming back stronger. Let's get into it. First up, we got independence. Now, this isn't your average, oh, I like to do my own thing kind of independence. This is deep-rooted, primal, lone wolf kind of stuff. You know, the kind of guy who could be stranded in the wilderness with just a knife and a book of matches, and he'd not only survive, but he'd thrive. Sigma males, they don't need your validation, they don't need your approval, they don't need your pats on the back. They're perfectly content being self-reliant, making their own way in the world. And you know what? They actually prefer it that way. They use that solitude, that time alone, to their advantage. They're constantly learning, growing, evolving. Think about it, man. Some of the most badass figures in history, guys like Nikola Tesla, Henry David Thoreau, they were all about that solitary life. They didn't let the noise of the world drown out their own inner compass. So if you think you can hurt a Sigma male by isolating him, think again. You're just doing him a favor. You're giving him more time to focus on himself, to sharpen his skills, to become even more self-sufficient. All right, next up, we got emotional resilience. This is a big one, folks. We live in a world where everyone's so damn sensitive, always getting offended, always needing a safe space. But Sigma males, they're built different, man. They're like that mountain that's weathered every storm, every earthquake, every natural disaster. They're unshakable. You can try to manipulate them, try to guilt-trip them, try to play on their emotions. But it's not gonna work. They see right through that bullshit. You know why they're so emotionally resilient? Because they've been through the fire, man. They've faced adversity head-on, they've stared down their demons, and they've come out the other side stronger, tougher, more resilient. They're not afraid of a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. In fact, they embrace it. So, if you're thinking about messing with a Sigma male's head, good luck with that. You're just gonna end up looking like a weak little bird pecking at a tank. All right, so you're trying to understand the Sigma male, trying to figure out why they're so damn resilient. Number 3 on the list, and this is a big one, they have an analytical mindset. These dudes are like the Sherlock Holmes of emotions, man. They're observant, they pick up on patterns, they see the angles that other people miss. You try to play games with a Sigma, try to manipulate them with some BS story, they'll see right through it. They're not going to fall for your tricks because they're already 3 steps ahead, figuring out your next move. It's like they've got this internal lie detector, and it's always switched on. They analyze everything, man. Interactions, situations, they break it all down. It's not about being cold or heartless. It's about understanding the world around them on a deeper level. They're looking for truth, for authenticity, and they can smell BS a mile away. So, if you're trying to hurt a Sigma male with lies or deception, good luck with that. You're gonna need it. They're not buying what you're selling. They're not falling for your traps. This analytical mindset, it's not just about emotions and relationships. It's about everything. These guys apply it to their work, their hobbies, their entire lives. They're problem solvers, always looking for the most efficient, most logical solution. You try to outfox a Sigma, you better bring your A game, because they're already playing chess while you're setting up checkers. They're thinking several moves ahead, anticipating your every countermove. And you know what? This ability to analyze, to dissect, it makes them incredible learners. They absorb information, process it, and integrate it into their understanding of the world. They're constantly evolving, constantly adapting. So, if you think you can outsmart a Sigma male, think again. They've already run the numbers, analyzed the probabilities, and come up with the optimal strategy. You're dealing with a different breed here, my friend. All right, let's talk about self-sufficiency. The Sigma male, he's the ultimate lone wolf. He doesn't need a pack, he doesn't need handouts, he doesn't need anyone to take care of him. He's built for survival, man. He can handle his own shit, take care of his responsibilities, and forge his own path. He doesn't need approval, he doesn't need validation. He's got this quiet confidence that comes from knowing he can handle whatever life throws at him. And you know what? This self-reliance, it's incredibly attractive. It's magnetic, because it shows a level of strength, a level of capability that most people just don't have. So, if you're trying to hurt a Sigma male by trying to take away his resources, by trying to make him dependent on you, forget about it. It's not going to work. He'll just find another way, because that's what Sigmas do. This self-sufficiency, it's not about being a hermit or rejecting all help. It's about having the ability to stand on your own 2 feet, to rely on yourself when you need to. It's about knowing that you've got your own back no matter what. And that kind of strength, that kind of independence, it's intimidating to some people, because it means you can't control them, you can't manipulate them, you can't hold them back. They're not beholden to anyone, man. They answer to themselves. They make their own rules, they set their own standards, and they live life on their own terms. So, if you're looking for someone who's needy, who's clingy, who's constantly seeking validation, the Sigma male is not it. He's comfortable in his own skin, he's confident in his own abilities, and he doesn't need your approval to feel good about himself. Let's dive into the 5th reason why messing with a Sigma male is like poking a sleeping bear with a stick. These guys are unpredictable, man. They're wild cards. They don't play by the rules. They don't follow the script. They do their own thing. You think you got them figured out? Think you can anticipate their next move? Think again. They operate on a different frequency, man. They zig when you think they'll zag. They go left when you think they'll go right. It's not about being difficult. It's about being authentic. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're not trying to fit in. They're just being themselves. And that kind of unpredictability, it keeps people on their toes. It's exciting, it's intriguing, it's a little bit dangerous. It's like you never really know what they're going to do next, and that's part of the appeal. This unpredictability, it stems from this deep-seated need for autonomy. They don't want to be boxed in, they don't want to be labeled. They want the freedom to be themselves, no matter what. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo. They're not afraid to go against the grain. They're not afraid to forge their own path. They're pioneers, man, explorers. They're out there charting their own course through life. And you know what? The world needs more of that. We need more people who are willing to break the mold, to challenge convention, to think outside the box. So if you're looking for a guy who's going to follow the crowd, who's going to conform to your expectations, the Sigma male is not it. He's a free spirit, man. He dances to the beat of his own drum, and that's what makes him so damn interesting. All right, let's talk about boundaries, man. Sigmas, they're like wolves, you know? They've got their territory, their den, and they don't let just anyone waltz in there. You try to step over those lines, those boundaries, they'll let you know real quick. It's not about being aggressive. It's about self-respect. They know their worth. They know what they'll tolerate and what they won't. You want to play games, try to manipulate them, go ahead, but don't be surprised when they shut you down, cut you off, no hesitation. See, Sigmas, they're not afraid of confrontation. They're not going to back down from a challenge, especially when it comes to protecting themselves, their energy, their peace. They've built their lives on their terms, and they're not about to let anyone mess with that. So, you want to mess with a Sigma? Go ahead, try your luck. But just remember, they've got boundaries, man, and they're not afraid to enforce them. This isn't about being closed off or antisocial. Sigmas, they can be social, they can be charming, they can connect with people. But they're selective, man. They choose who they let in, who they invest their time and energy in. They're not going to waste their time with drama, with negativity, with people who don't respect their values. They'd rather be alone, thriving in their own lane, than surrounded by people who drain them. And that's the thing about boundaries. They're not just about keeping the bad out, they're about keeping the good in. They're about protecting your energy, your focus, your peace of mind. Sigmas get that, man. They understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of yourself first, set those boundaries in order to be the best version of yourself. Life, it's a wild ride, man. It throws curveballs, throws you for a loop when you least expect it. But you know what separates the Sigmas from the rest? They adapt, man. They roll with the punches. They don't get stuck in their ways, rigid, unable to bend. They're like water, man. They flow around obstacles, find a new path, keep moving forward. You try to box them in, limit their options, they'll find a way out. Trust me, it's like that Bruce Lee quote, "Be water, my friend." That's the Sigma mentality right there. They're fluid, they're adaptable, they're always ready for whatever life throws at them. They don't get bogged down by the unexpected. They see it as a challenge, an opportunity to learn, to grow, to evolve. Think about it, man. The world's changing faster than ever before. Technology, social norms, everything's in flux. But Sigmas, they're not intimidated by change. They embrace it. They see the chaos, the uncertainty, not as a threat, but as a chance to redefine themselves, to carve their own path. They're not afraid to step outside their comfort zone, to try new things, to fail and learn from their mistakes. That's the beauty of adaptability, man. It allows you to thrive in any environment, to overcome any obstacle. And Sigmas, they've got that in spades. So if you're trying to hurt a Sigma by changing the game, by throwing them a curveball, good luck with that. They'll just adapt, adjust, and come back even stronger. Let me tell you something, man. Sigmas, they're not just floating through life directionless. They've got goals, ambitions, things they want to achieve, and they're laser-focused on making those things happen. It's not about chasing fame or fortune necessarily. It's about pursuing their passions, their interests, whatever it is that lights their fire. They've got that internal drive, that intrinsic motivation that keeps them pushing forward. You ever see a lion stalking its prey? That's the kind of focus we're talking about here. They're locked in, man. Distractions, obstacles, they just fade away. They see the target and they go after it with everything they've got. That's the power of focus, man. It allows you to achieve incredible things, to overcome any challenge. And Sigmas, they've got that focus in spades. Now, listen, having goals is one thing, but actually achieving them, that takes dedication, perseverance. And let me tell you, Sigmas, they've got that in spades. They're not afraid of hard work, of putting in the hours, of making sacrifices. They understand that success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and a whole lot of grit. But they're willing to put in the work because they know what they want, and they're not going to stop until they get it. And you know what? That kind of unwavering determination, it's contagious, man. It inspires people. It makes you want to up your own game, to chase your own dreams. So if you're trying to hurt a Sigma by distracting them, by getting in their way, good luck with that. Their focus, their determination, it's unshakable. They'll just bulldoze right through any obstacle you put in front of them. All right, so we've talked about how Sigma males are adaptable, goal-oriented, all that jazz. But here's another thing about these dudes. They don't give a damn about your fancy car or your expensive watch. Seriously, they just don't care. That stuff doesn't impress them. You ever notice how some people define themselves by what they own? Sigmas, man, they define themselves by what they do. They're out there building their own empires, pursuing their own passions. They're not going to be impressed by some shiny trinket because they're too busy creating their own value. It's like they understand that real wealth isn't about accumulating things, it's about mastering yourself. They're comfortable with less because they're focused on what truly matters. They're not attached to material possessions, so trying to hurt them by taking that stuff away, it's like trying to take candy from a gorilla. It's just not going to work. And it's not just possessions, man. Sigma males, they're not defined by their relationships either. They're not clinging to people for validation. They're comfortable being alone, comfortable with their own thoughts. Now, I'm not saying they're heartless robots or anything. They can and do form deep, meaningful connections. But they're not dependent on those connections for their happiness. They're not going to fall apart if someone walks out of their life. They're too self-assured, too independent for that. It's like they understand that everyone is on their own journey, man. They respect that. They're not going to try to hold anyone back, and they're certainly not going to beg anyone to stay. They're comfortable with the natural ebb and flow of life, with the comings and goings of people in their lives. Trying to hurt a Sigma male by threatening their relationships? Good luck with that. They're not playing that game. They're too busy living their lives on their own terms. Now this last one, this is a big one. This is what really sets Sigma males apart. They have this inner peace, man, this unshakable calmness that you just don't see very often. It's like they figured out that happiness isn't something you chase after. It's something you cultivate from within. They're not looking for external validation. They're not seeking approval from the outside world. They find their validation from within. They know their own worth. And because of that, they're not easily rattled. They don't get caught up in drama. They don't let negativity bring them down. They're like rocks in a river, man. The water can flow and crash all around them, but they remain solid, unmoved. And that's a powerful thing, man. That inner peace, it gives them this incredible strength. It allows them to weather any storm, to overcome any obstacle. Because they're not fighting themselves, they're not battling their own demons. They're content with who they are, flaws and all. They're comfortable in their own skin. And that contentment, that self-acceptance, it radiates outwards. It's like an invisible force field that deflects negativity and attracts positivity. You can try to hurt a Sigma male. You can try to bring them down. But it's like throwing a pebble into the ocean, man. It might cause a ripple, but it's not going to change the tide. They're too grounded, too centered in themselves to be affected by your petty attempts to hurt them. So there you have it, folks. 10 brutally honest reasons why trying to hurt a Sigma male will backfire on you. They're independent, resilient, analytical, self-sufficient, unpredictable. They've got strong boundaries. They're adaptable. They're focused on their goals. They're not attached to material things or even people in a way that you can use against them. And on top of all that, they have this incredible inner peace. These dudes are like the Navy SEALs of the emotional world, man. They're trained to handle anything life throws at them. So if you're thinking about messing with a Sigma male, think again. You're going to regret it. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay strong and stay true to yourself.